In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Scripture begins with these words that narrate the story of a loving God creating the world we inhabit. In 7 days, God separates the light from the darkness, forms the land and the seas, breathes life into the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, and on the 6th day, God created human beings. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." So God created humankind in His image. In the image of God, He created them, male and female, He created them. Human beings bear the image of God, or Imago Dei, which is a Latin translation. And there's been great discussion and debate throughout the centuries regarding what it means to be image bearers of God. Is this structural in nature? In other words, do we bear God's image in our being, whether that be our physical bodies or our ability to think rationally? Does bearing the image of God mean we are like God in who we are? Or are we image bearers through what we do? Is the Imago Dei functional in nature? Do we create as God creates? Does God's image come forth when we love others, pursue justice, or walk humbly? Does bearing the image of God mean God is reflected in our lives every time we behave as God would? Or is the Imago Dei relational in nature? The Genesis narrative says, "Let us make humankind in our image." Therefore, does this mean that we reflect God's nature in our need for and dependence upon relationships with others? Or is it some combination of all three? Is the Imago Dei structural, functional, and relational? Are we image bearers through our being, what we do, and our need for a relationship? The witness of Christian history does not settle the argument. There is a certain amount of mystery surrounding exactly what it means to be created in the image of God. No matter the mystery or debate, this much is true. You have something unique to offer the world. And that uniqueness is a reflection of how God made you. Perhaps it is a passion you have that drives you to invest in people or projects. A passion that might be hard to describe, but you know it is there nonetheless. Perhaps you have a unique way of seeing the world and others. You find that you offer insight into situations at work, home, or in the community that others need and depend upon. Or perhaps you have a deep desire or longing for a particular people group or segment of society. A good question might be, what skills or capacities do you have that make the world a better place? These things aren't always easy to figure out or discern. We are complex creatures who must navigate multiple pressures, worldviews, experiences, and traumas that often cloud the Imago Dei. But we all have something to bring to the world that contributes to a more just, peaceful, joyous, and kind society. What might that be for you? Frederick Buechner says, "Vocation is where our deep gladness meets the world's deep need." God desires that love, justice, mercy, and kindness be defining characteristics of the world. And on those first days of creation, all of humanity was imprinted with God's image. And we share in the opportunity to bring that which we have been given and offer it in love to the world around us. Which begs the question, what is your deep gladness? What brings you joy or delight? Are there people with whom you connect deeply? If you were to pay close attention to your life, what might you learn about who you are, how you are wired, or ways that you might bear God's image?